Well, it's the end of March and it's pretty cold today, but I got a project I gotta take care of. Ended up getting a flat on one of the rear tires on the Ford 1920. And so it's out there at the edge of the field over there. I was pretty close to the house, but when the air let out of it, it let out real quick, so there was no limping it back here. So I gotta go out there and get that wheel off of it. So this is gonna be interesting because that wheel weighs a ton. I'm going to use my impact driver. So I can use the air one if I get the compressor out there, but then I'll run low on air and I'll need electricity. So I might as well just use the electric one. So I'll bring my electric impact driver out there and we're going to need some power. I got my trusty Makita over here. That's all wrapped up. But I think I'll use the Coleman. Been looking for an excuse to actually try out this Coleman since I fixed it up. Last thing I did on it was I fixed, there was a leak here with a fuel line went onto the carburetor. There was a little bit of damage. I was able to trim off the end of the fuel line and reuse the existing fuel line, stop that leak. So let's see, I guess we'll fire up the four-wheel and get it warmed up and go get the wagon, and then we'll load all this stuff on the wagon. Well, there it is, and I got a chunk of a sharp branch came in, and I got part of it actually got a little bit stuck in the bead there, but the main problem is I sheared off the valve stem, metal valve stem. I actually threw this in there to try and stop the slow the airflow down to try and get the tractor back to the garage, but it was already too late. So I did manage to get a bottle jack underneath there, keep it from completely putting the weight on the deflated tire, but I'm gonna have to take that out now anyways because it's at the end of its reach. So I'm gonna take it out, put some blocking underneath there, and that way I can re-jack it up. I'll do that now. I got some good wood planks I can stack up under there for support of the bottle jack. All right, I'm jacked up. So now I'll fire up the generator and use the impact driver and get those bolts out. It's about 35 degrees, but there's a pretty nasty wind that kicks up, and with the wind chill it feels a lot colder. But well, let's give the old Coleman here a try with a cold start. Choke full on. Let's see what we get. Warm up a bit and it'll come up to RPM. Getting there. Alright. Oils are tight. Alright, I got it off. Flat spot makes it stand up by itself, which is nice. Generator did its job. So my next problem is going to be getting this up onto the truck bed. So for starters, right now I'm going to just drop it over on the back of my wagon because my wagon's got a low edge here. I can drop it up onto here. That'll get it up off the ground about a foot, so that's that much less I have to hoist it up onto the back of the truck. Well, alright, that wasn't too bad. Now gotta go get this big thing onto the back of the pickup truck, so I'm gonna drive it over to the driveway and back the pickup truck up to it. too bad. Parked on a little bit of a ridge here in the driveway. That gave me a few extra inches and a couple extra inches to less to have to deal with. So now, let's see if I can't tilt that up onto the bed and then wrestle it up there. Alright, I'll load it up. I'll take a ride to my tire guy, but first I'm going to load up that cylinder head from that International because my machine shop guy's not far from there. Alright, back from the tire man. Good deal. He put in a brand new valve for me and tested it for leaks. $10. Can't beat that with a stick. Anyways, now I've got the tire back in position. I've got the jack exactly the height I want it at, but my bolt holes aren't lined up, so I gotta finagle it so that it spins, because unfortunately I can't get the axle to turn, and I'm not foolish enough to actually start the tractor and try and do it. Alright, I got all the bolts started. I gotta fire up the generator and use the impact wrench to tighten them up, and then I'll finish them up with the torque wrench. And in closing, I just wanted to add that the proper torque for that, for those nuts or bolts, are 137 to like 155 foot-pounds. So I torqued them to 145. All right, take care.